everybody, welcome to my video today. I am excited to share with you guys a set of cards that I have created, and I wanted to share with you guys this product right here. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the way that Stampin' Up! Kind of does things, but when you're looking through the catalog, if you notice, there's these places where there'll be these suites of product. And everything coordinates within these sets, basically, of products. So you'll have some designer paper, you'll have a stamp set, sometimes a punch or a die. There'll be ribbon and embellishments that all coordinate and go together. So the one that we're looking at this week, actually, is the Color Theory product. And what I want to start doing for you guys is really showcasing some of the way this product works together. One of the reasons that I love Stampin' Up! And the reason that I started purchasing Stampin' Up! Is because all of their product coordinates. So I can get designer paper that matches ribbon, that matches embellishments, that match, you know, they have the things that come out. These are enamel dots. So what I find is, because I love I'm a matchy kind of girl, so I like things that match. I like pulling out product that all matches that I don't have to think about. So that's one of the reasons that I first fell in love with the Stampin' Up! Product, is it became very easy for me to purchase the things that I needed. And so I love that they do this. In every catalog, we have these, you know, these products that coordinate. So this week, what I want to start doing with you guys is using some product that goes together, either die sets or stamps, and then showing you guys how to use some of this product for different projects. So today we're gonna make some cards. Tomorrow I'm gonna make a traditional layout using some Project Life cards or some Memories and More cards. And then at the end of the week, I have a really special announcement. So right now we're gonna be using the Color Theory. So this is on page 147 of your catalog. Today we're gonna be using the stamp set and the die set. So this has a coordinating die set. You can bundle those together, and then you can save 10%. So that's what I did. I got the stamp set and the die set together. And then let me show you some of the other product that is in the same line. This is the Color Theory designer paper. And they look like the paint chips, right, that you go when you're picking out new paint. But they have these great designs. There's like this ombre look, so you can get some really cool, you can do different cool things with that. This is a 6x6 paper pad, which is nice. It's perfect for cards. And then this is the enamel dots, and they're the glitter enamel dots. And what I do when I get product like this, I will just open the packaging up, and then I take and I staple this part, the clear sheet, to the backing, so I still know what it is. So that way, if I'm running out and I'm like, what was this? The packaging will say, but then it also is sturdy, and then it can go in where I keep all my embellishments organized. So we're going to be using this. And then here's my die set and my stamp set. And then I wanted to show you guys this. So this is something that I had done with another set, and you guys seem to really like it. So this shows you how all of the stamps, how you can stamp them, and then the different dies. So everything that's stamped in blue is a stamp, and then all of the black are actual dies. So this is the colorful seasons, and then you see all of the stamps. You have the great sentiments, and then the dies that go with it. So I particularly love the snowflake dies, and then the leaf dies, and that's what we're going to be using today, is the leaf stamps. And I thought I would use the dies, but I ended up not. So then here's a few other. And so this is nice. If you can see, this is organized a little bit better than I organized it for you before. And what I'll do is I'll take a photo of this, and it'll be on my coordinating blog post. So if you want to snag it and be able to just see what cuts where, you know, it's a little bit easier. And then the nice thing is that I just have a page protector, and what I'm going to do is start sliding these in for all of my dies and stamps, and then that way, as I'm looking through, I can just see very easily what die cuts what and what stamp. And then this red part right here is just an indication that you can stamp multiple stamps to make a completed look. That's a little chair. So let's get started today. I'm going to use the stamp set. I'm going to use the designer paper, and then I was going to use the die, but I decided not to, but I'll show you what I did. So I'm going to make a set of 4 cards, and these are going to be a different size card than I normally make. And we're going to do some embossing. I have my Copper Embossing Powder out here. So what I have right here, let's get started, you guys. So what I have here is a 6 1/4 by 6 piece of white, Whisper White cardstock. And then I've scored it at 3. So this is going to be 6 1/4 by 3. And I was going to make coordinating envelopes to go with this, but I started looking for my envelope punch board and I've lost it. So that's sort of a bummer. I think I'm going to have to repurchase that. I thought about looking on the silhouette to see if there was like an envelope cut that I could do, but you could easily make custom envelopes to go with this. So it's 6 1/4 by 3. And the reason I did 6 is because, or the reason I did 6 1/4 is because my designer paper is 6 inches. So I knew I couldn't make the card any bigger really than 6 1/4, if that would leave me a nice white border. But I couldn't get it any bigger than that. So 6 1/4, and then it's by 3, so the card is 3 inches. So then what I've done is I've taken a piece of that designer paper and I've cut it at, I've left it at 6. I didn't have to cut it this way. And then I did at 2 3/4. So this is gonna give me a nice white border on here, okay? So I made one of these for each color. So in this pack, we have Rich Razzleberry, we have Old Olive, it's either Night of Navy or it might be Dapper Denim. I'm not exactly positive off the top of my head. And then we have Daffodil Delight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Old Olive ink pad and we're going to do some stamping right on this. I know it's a little bit hard to see here on camera. I will zoom in for you guys and then hopefully I won't forget to zoom back out. So we're just going to do some stamping directly over our designer paper. So this designer paper is really pretty and it gives you the ability to have a little bit of design and stamping right over this paper. So that's another thing I want you guys to remember is that you can stamp over designer paper and it will just give you a different fun look. You don't always have to just make the stamped image, right? So the other thing that I did is I stamped over the designer paper and then I cut it out with the dies, and that was a fun look too. So we're just gonna ink up our stamp. So I have this leaf right here. And are you guys tired of me using leaves yet? So all last week I did projects with leaves. We had the paper pumpkin and then we had the pretty packaging and then now I'm using this. So, and then tomorrow I'll be using kind of the same, I'll be using the same set and we'll be doing a traditional page. So I promise after Thursday we'll be done with fall leaves, okay? So we're gonna ink this up and I'm using Old Olive and then we're just gonna stamp on this. So we're gonna start much like I've done the last couple projects where I'm stamping onto this paper and then I'm just making like a pattern, or you could do this with just white paper and make your own background if you wanted. There's lots of different things that you can do with your stamps that are like this with these kinds of images. So, and then I'm putting one over here and I'm letting that hang off. And then what we're going to do is grab the smaller leaf. I'm just going to fill this in. I'm just making sure that I'm getting enough coverage on there. So I'm just going to put a couple on here. Just like that. Okay, so the other fun thing is that yesterday we started the beginning of the new Stampin' Up! Year. October is our new official year, and with that there's some exciting things happening this month. So we have designer paper that is on sale. You buy 3, you get 1 free. This designer paper is one of those sets, so that's really awesome. And then also World Card Making Day is coming up, and so this stamp set is on sale for 15% off. So if you don't have this stamp set and you don't have the designer paper, you're going to want to pick that up because they're on sale, which is so awesome. So the next thing that I've done is I have just taken a circle framelit die and I have embossed with copper embossing. So a little funny story, you guys. I wanted to use a sentiment that was real fun like this. So I started doing my cards. I've already done 3 of them and I'm going to show them to you. And then all of a sudden I was reading the sentiment and I was like, oh, I think this is meant for like when you get married or something, or maybe when you get engaged. May all of your tomorrows be as happy as today. I don't know, it might be a little bit, I was feeling like maybe I could be a little bit nervous sending a card that had this sentiment, because what if the person's having a bad day when they get it? So I don't know, or would a card cheer them up? So I don't know, I thought, do you guys think that's like kind of a weird sentiment to send on an everyday card? You'll have to let me know. So what I've done is I've just I've taken my circle stitched framelits, I've cut out a circle, and then I've used the sentiment and I've embossed with copper there. So I have on the back here, I have the foam tape. And I accidentally went to place this down and then I realized I had other stuff to do. So what I'm doing is taking some of this copper thread. It's super thin and kind of hard to see on film. But what I'm doing is I'm just pressing it in and making a huge mess on the back of this foam tape. And I'm kind of making loops. You guys have seen me do this before. My tip in doing this is add way more than you think. And the nice thing is if you do it like this on the back of the card before you know, instead of doing it on the cardstock, actually doing it on the sentiment here, you're going to be able to see and place this kind of in a better way, because you're going to see where all of the thread is coming out. And I'll give you a close-up so you can kind of see. So see how you can kind of see where all that thread is poking out? So because I've touched that and I've pressed on it, all you have to do is run your snail kind of right over that foam tape and that copper, and it's going to give you that nice effect. Okay, so this is a fun technique that I love doing. Before we place that down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Versamark, run it on the sides of my cardstock. This is just like if you were inking the edges, but we're going to emboss the edges. And that Versamark will pick up a little bit of that ink and it may smear it a little bit, but it's going to be okay because we're going to just put embossing powder over it. So just like that. Now I got a little bit much right up here, and that happens. So I'm just keeping in mind the way I want that edge to look, and I'm going to take a little bit of that off. Then we'll take our heat tool and we'll heat this edge. Wait 1 second after you heat set, because it's still a little bit tacky as it's setting up. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is just add some foam to the very back of this, and then I'm going to show you all 4 cards that I did. So we'll bring our card base back over. Let me zoom out a tiny bit. And then this part is a little bit tricky. Just line this up. Press it down. See that beautiful copper right around the edge of that? And then we can bring our circle over, and what I did is I just placed that circle right in the middle. And I pressed that down, and then let's just add a little bit of detail. So what I'm going to do is add a couple of these enamel dots. I'm going to do the green because I'm doing tone on tone. And I use, the great thing about these enamel dots is it gives you an ombre look. So there's some darker ones up here and then some lighter ones down here. So you can pick and choose kind of which ones you want to use. And I personally like doing like clusters of 3. And you can put some right over some of that copper thread. And then the other thing that I want to do is just grab a couple sequins. I have these. Okay, so let me show you all 4 of these cards. So we have the Old Olive one. Then I did this in the Night of Navy or Dapper Denim. And you can see that I used the designer paper that has this ombre kind of effect where it's darker, and then I tried to make sure that I cut some darker spot with some lighter spots so it gave it even more texture on that card. And then I did the Rich Razzleberry, same effect. And then the yellow one, the Daffodil Delight, I did a little bit different. So you can see I used a little bit different design of the designer paper. And then I actually embossed those leaves. So remember on my paper pumpkin card how I had those gold leaves that were stickers and I stuck them on the card and I thought that was so beautiful? Well, this I just did the embossing of the leaves and I did not do any embossing around the edge. And then I did that same sentiment. So the other thing that I could do if I did not use my stitched circle, what I could have done is embossed the circle, the edge of the circle, just how I did these other cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing these. Again, they're a different size, so you can either make an envelope or they would fit like in a business envelope, or they would be really pretty just as attached to a gift. That would be really nice. Or this would even be pretty at a place setting, like for Thanksgiving, like on the table. That would be really pretty. You can make it a little bit smaller. There's so many things that you could do with this size that would be really amazing. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. There'll be photos on my website. The supply list will be there, along with the supply list will be in the YouTube description below. Remember that sale, both of those sales have started. So if you want to pick up some designer paper, it's buy 3, get 1 free, and those are listed in the YouTube description as well, along with on my website. And then World Card Making Day, we're celebrating from now through the 10th of October, and there's things that are on sale 15% off. There's some stamp sets. And then the best thing that is part of that sale is your fast fuse. If you buy a fast fuse, so you buy one of these, you get 2 refills for free. So that's amazing. So if you like using the fast fuse, now's a great time to stock up on your fast fuse, because when you buy one of these, you get 2 refills for free. So that's amazing. So thank you guys. I know that was a ton of information. There's so much fun stuff coming out. I'm going to have a traditional page for you tomorrow, scrapbooking page for you tomorrow using the same product. And then on Thursday, I have a really fun announcement happening, a really fun thing we're going to get started. There's going to be giveaways. I have so many fun things planned, and it's all going to start on Thursday. So I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will continue to talk to you guys as we create and craft and have fun together this week. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll chat with you later.